Right, it's raining and pouring, but the Sprinter is calling. So, let's have a look at a 2006 Sprinter and just see how rotten it is, really. It's turning out to be a pretty tidy Sprinter, by the way. This has been owned by the council from new, one owner. It's a final edition, of course. The next model up was all right, but not as good as this. So let's see. I mean, let's face it, the mechanics are going to be pretty good on this. It's been owned by the council. It's a Sprinter of this age. It's only did 185,000 miles. I've driven it 9 miles. Drives really well. But let's face it, what lets these vehicles down is corrosion. So I suppose we'll start with the back doors. So bottoms are intact. You can see a little bit of bubbling there. For a vehicle of this age, I'm going to give those doors a 10 out of 10. This is where you'd really tell though. Let's have a quick look underneath here. Okay, I'm going to give that an 11 out of 10. Okay. And that's the sign of a well-maintained vehicle, people. My father taught me that one many years ago. Okay, let's have a look on this side. Not as good. I wonder why. It's still okay. It will want some work, but it's still there. Yeah, it's going to want some welding, really, to get that sorted. But depending on what you want to use it for, you could probably live with it. Okay. Yeah, nice. Usually, from my experience, if you just check in the middle, it's usually consistent the whole way across. Okay, now we're at the back anyway. Quick on the roof. It's looking pretty good, actually. It looks reasonably presentable. You know, if a minibus company was picking me up in this, I'd be like, first of all, respect for still running a vehicle like this. Second of all, I think at least we're probably going to make it to the destination without going into limp mode. So yeah, it's reasonably presentable. Side loading door, obviously, is not required for the MOT, but you know the council's touched this up in areas to preserve it, make it look half presentable, I suppose. But yeah, the side loading door. Hopefully, I can get it on the ramp in a minute and get a better look at everywhere else on it. But yeah, it's in pretty good shape, but it's not mint. Okay. See, the thing is, this vehicle, I bought it with the intention that someone might want to take all the seats out and turn it into a camper, but this is just a really nice, genuine Sprinter minibus. All the seats are really good. It's got the original headliner in it. It's looking quite nice. It's got the opening window on there and on there, which is kind of strange, really. I don't know why they didn't have it throughout, but hey. It's got the walk-through. I mean, if you were making it into a camper van, you didn't want the bulkhead. These are pretty much impossible to find anywhere. So, just for those people looking at turning this into a camper van potentially. So we've got 16 seats, including the driver, and yeah, it's quite good. I think this is where I would sit, just back here like that. Okay, there's the extraction fan cover. The extraction fan that's missing the cover. I did see that when it came in, so that'll be here somewhere. That just wants placing back on there somehow. Look at this, guys, the dash and everywhere. I was going to suggest that you usually see all these broken, but there is a bit of damage there, but hey, it's not terrible. Okay. I know that arch is really good. Checked it out last night. So is this one. So is this one. Hankook tyres. Is there a date there? 4422. So these tyres were new in 2022. So that's a pretty good sign as well. Okay, let's see. This is an area to be checking out on these vans. Like nearly all of the vehicles you get in this age. The battery, which of course is located here, they're usually rotten. Wow. Look at that. How has that preserved itself? Wow. That is really good. Scuttle panel is solid, but like I say, it depends what you want to use the vehicle for. If you just want to use it as a backup minibus, something that you're just using as a tool, I probably wouldn't get any of this stuff done. If you're going to be turning it into a camper van, you want to get all the rot away and get it nice and clean. So there's a couple of considerations there. Oil looks nice and clean. I can get the dipstick back in. You know, you have to bear in mind that I've done nothing to this van at all except give it a quick wash off. Even the bonnet's in pretty good nick. Okay. So, she's a 3.8 tonner, which means you have to have a pre-1997 license or a C1. It could, of course, be down-plated. I think you could still down-plate it and still keep 16 seats in the vehicle as well, as far as I'm aware. I think you probably could. It does, of course, have a tachograph in it. So if you want to use it as a minibus with its current plate of 3.8, you will obviously require to be using the tachograph and have a pre-1997 license. It could, of course, be down-plated if you wanted it to. Steering wheels, it's all right. It's solid. You get a bit spongy, these do. I think that's solid. Just looks a bit used, doesn't it? Okay. That is a tune. Okay. Right. Wow. Yeah. Wow, that sounds better on reverse mode. We've got some lights in here. All the bells and whistles. 5-speed manual transmission, of course. Let's look at the bottom of this door. Yeah, it's pretty good. I will get this. We're going to drive this over to the ramp now and see what it really is like, because so far it's too good to be true. So I'll finish off what I couldn't finish off last night. ABS sidestep. With the most stupid means of getting it back in, you have to sort of have great leg strength and wait, push it down, and then there she's in. That's it. Right, let's go see what it's like on the ramp. By the way, that Sprinter I'm about to reverse into is 1 year older. This one here. God, the ramp's busy. God's sake. Yeah, that Sprinter there is... Right, here is the best Sprinter probably left in the world. I don't know. I always get surprised, but... Right, I've literally been waiting all day to check this vehicle out underneath properly. Because it wasn't fair to really have a look at this van underneath without giving it a wash off. So, start here right at the back. This is how we want it to be, like that. We want it to be like that. the whole way down. And it's not. So, for now, this is fine for an MOT. But in the future, if you wanted to keep this vehicle on the road, you want to get a new sill. And that'll easily stitch in and last for a long time. But yeah, fine for an MOT at the moment, that is. Seam sealer, job to fish. But you can see here, it's starting to separate across here as well. Arches. Ooh. Pretty good. So far on that side, let's say. So far on that side. Really good. Just a quick note, I've noticed that this has had new pads on it recently throughout, indicated there by the sensor, and I've checked out the pads, they're looking pretty good. Recently new discs on the back as well, not the same on the front, but it does stop well. So you don't need to do anything to the brakes for certain. The main area here, all good, all nice and solid. It's traditionally is sills on these old Sprinters anyway, you know, that's the story with them. Nice and solid here. Obviously it's going to benefit from wire brushing and underseal in a lot of the areas you want to keep this vehicle for a while. Okay. This arch here is, you can see here on this sill here, it has gone. So this would require a patch for the MOT. I think that's probably going to be the main area for the MOT. This arch here as well. See, it's just, the outer skin is just separated there. So ideally it wants an arch here and a sill. Let's just check out the other side here as well. No, this arch is okay. We've got a pinhole here. Right there. Where's that pinhole? It's there. Okay, that doesn't necessarily need doing for the MOT. You can see a lot of the sill down the vehicle, you see it's had some seam sealer on here. It's actually quite good. Light heater exhaust. Very crunchy here. But yeah, front arch is looking nice. Just go over this side as well. Look at that. Wow. And then over the ABS side step. It's looking alright. Front arches are good. New bottom arms, so you have no problems with your ball joints and stuff like that. That looks reasonably new. So does this, that looks reasonably new as well. Transmission is nice and clean, nice and dry. A couple of marks on the bolts, I presume it's had a clutch at some point. Got the jack in the way here now. Really surprised to see all this super clean. These are usually rotten, these front slam panels are. So yeah, I mean, just going on the outer side of the sill, it's a bit rough looking, but there's only really a couple of spots that are required for the MOT. So that's good news for whoever's thinking about putting this back on the road, because of course the MOT has expired in August. Yeah. For this vehicle to pass an MOT, it needs maybe 5 hours of a good fabricator putting it back together, and this will probably pass its MOT. With a bit of prep here and there elsewhere, I can't imagine it'd be getting many advisories either. So yeah, I'd much rather be welding a vehicle that's going to turn on every time and not go into limp mode than buy a modern vehicle with higher mileage that's going to break down on me. So my conclusion is, the reason I bought this van is because it's going to last, it's not going to cause me any issues when I sell it, and it's going to be reliable for you. So buy this fan, get the welding done, get it tested. It will serve you well.